Hello. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope you guys are feeling okay. Hope you had a great weekend. So, today I felt inspired to share my story of my shamanic breathwork journey. So, if you're not familiar with breathwork is an amazing tool that can be used for a couple different things. Mainly, it's a healing tool that by doing it, you can release trauma that's stored in your body, stored in your chakras. You can release deep emotions stored deep inside of you from traumatic experiences, from this life, from past lives. It's a really amazing tool that can be used, especially in times of uncertainty, like when you're maybe just unsure in your life, you don't know what to do next, you don't know how to get over something or heal from something, or you're just kind of looking to take the next big step in your journey of finding your happiness and being the best version of yourself. Breathwork is a really great tool to turn to. And you do it with breathwork practitioners, people who have been certified and studied and learned how to properly um, uh, talk someone through the breath work and facilitate it. When it's done with the right person, it can be so transformative. I have done two breathwork journeys. I did one with an old friend who was new to it, and it was a really great experience. I released a lot of stored emotion. I hysterically cried during it. I had all these feelings come up that I didn't expect. I didn't know what to expect. And my second breathwork journey was otherworldly. It was so amazing, the experience I had. It was a shamanic breathwork journey. So it was done with a shaman who I believe was also like a medium or psychic of types, because the information that she shared with me after the breathwork journey, it's information I've only been told info like this from mediums, people who were able to like tap in and tell me things. And it was life changing in the best way. When I've shared this experience with people in my community and friends, I had many people say to me, wait, did you do plant medicine? Did you take ayahuasca? Because this experience you are describing to me is what it's like when you do plant medicine, when you do ayahuasca. And no, it's completely sober. I got to where I was and reached a certain point through my breath, completely through my breath. So if you're not familiar with breath work, um, my experience specifically, and you do this with all breath work, lay down, you get into like a meditative state. So it was laying down on the ground. Now, this specific shamanic journey I did at a yoga retreat with women. My best friend was there with me too. She went through this experience. All of us, there was 5 of us in a circle. We all really got along really well together, really trusted each other. It was a really beautiful space with beautiful people. And our shaman was there. And even like leading up to it, you could feel the energy in the room, right? So she had us all lay with our heads towards the circle, and we were laying on our mats and on blankets. She had little eye masks for us to put on to cover your eyes, so it was all blacked out. And she had an offering, an altar in the center. She had a hat and feathers and different herbs and flowers, and she saged us to begin. And then we started. So with your breath work, it's a specific breathing pattern that you do. And it's hard at first. It's like a, and you're doing that for an hour straight. And I know that sounds crazy. You're like, what? How could I breathe like that for an hour straight? But there is a certain point where your body just takes over and you just keep going. And I remember even there was a certain point in the beginning where I was like, I can't do this. You're talking to yourself in your head because you're laying there with your eyes closed, your hands are open, and you're just releasing your body into the ground over it. I mean, just continuously, you do not stop. And I remember thinking to myself, like, this is getting really hard. My mouth is getting dry. I could feel the dryness. I started to make different sounds, and then it just took over. My body just took over, and it kept going. And as it grew and I kept doing it, longer and longer. All of a sudden, I felt a vibration come over my body, like a warm, loving hug. It was amazing. My whole body started to vibrate, and I could literally feel the energy like vibrating through me. And it got so intense that I actually thought I was going to levitate. That's how like high I was vibrating. And side note, you know, we all talked about our experience afterwards, and all of us felt this. We all felt like we were going to levitate. We all felt the vibration. This was just not me. This was all of us. And I do believe a lot of it came from our shaman and like her gifts and just the way, just whatever she was doing. 'Cause this was so different than my first breathwork journey. So yeah, I felt the vibration, and it was so intense. And then I started to cry, and I could hear the other girls crying too. And I started making these sounds. It started getting deeper and more intense and like grunting. And I felt like I was just releasing this like dirty energy out through my breath and through my voice. And I started to cry. And then she came around, and she was like whispering and things in different people's ears. And she came over to me and she whispered in my ear and she said, "He can't hurt you anymore." And I know she was talking about my ex. And the second she said that, I had the biggest release I've ever had. I just like guttural, like cry, scream just out of my mouth, just this, and the tears started flowing. My body started like convulsing. I remember like my hips lifting and my chest lifting, and I could feel my hands were wide open, not like just like this, like laying like this, like they were open like this. Like I could feel, it was almost like there was something in my hand, and it felt like a ball of energy. I could feel it when I went like this, because I was fully aware as this was happening. I was talking to myself in my head too. And I was thinking like, oh my God, I feel this energy. And as I would say that, it would get stronger in my hand. And I could feel it. And I couldn't like close my hands. They were just open like this. And I could feel like energy was shooting out of me, and I'm vibrating, and my body was gyrating, and I'm hysterically crying, and I can guttural sounds coming out. And then I have some notes here because I journaled after it happened, which is always something you should do after experiences like this. Then, oh gosh, it was actually really beautiful. So when I say like while this is happening, you have these like, this knowing that happens, right? Like in my head, I was like, "Grandma, is that you?" And then I got the confirmation of like, yes, this is me. And I even said to myself, like, is this just me saying this in my head? And it was like, no, it's not. I started to feel my grandmother's hands, because both of them are not alive, both of their hands hold my hands. And I said to myself in my head, "I feel you holding my hand. Is that really you?" And then I could feel them squeeze my hands. And that's what it felt like. It felt like someone was holding my hand and then squeezing it. And I was like, "I felt you squeeze my hand. Was that you?" And I felt the squeeze again. And then all of a sudden it was like I saw, and when I say I saw, my eyes are closed, it's black. And then I saw it like someone took a pencil and drew. And I saw that in the darkness. I saw all of my grandmothers in rows, all of the women that came before me in a line. And they said to me, "We're here." And they all came up one by one. And I'm hysterically crying as this is happening because it was beautiful, and it just felt like so much love. And they each squeezed my hand to say, "I'm here. We've always been here. You just couldn't feel us. But right now, you get to feel us and feel our presence. And just know that we are here guiding you and protecting you." And each one squeezed my hand. And every time it happened, I questioned it. And they told me by squeezing my hand again and saying to me in my head, "No, we are here. This is real. Like, we love you." And then the vibration of my body would pick up, and it just felt like the most amazing hug ever. It felt warm and tingly, and it just felt like love. And it was beautiful. And I just kept crying and crying because it just felt so like I couldn't believe this was happening. Like, it was amazing, right? And I'm just looking at my notes, vibrating and floating off the ground. And then our shaman said, "Okay, now I want you to call forth your spirit animal." Or your spirit guide, excuse me, not your spirit animal. I want you to call forth your spirit guide. And they are spirit guides, which we did, like in our head. We didn't actually say it. And I said, like, spirit guide, show yourself, come forward. And then all of a sudden it was like a cartoon of doodles that were trying to create a picture. And for a second, I saw like a eagle, Native American thunderbird face kind of come in and then wash away. And then all of a sudden, the face of a lion came up like this and looked at me. And I remember thinking, oh, holy crap, I see a lion right now. Like, what? Like, I didn't expect to have visions. Remember, all I'm doing is this breath work. And I saw a vision in my third eye, in my mind's eye, and it was a lion. And I climbed on the lion's back because she's like, go, let them guide you, let them show you what they need to show you. And I got on the back of the lion and I rode him to this like big opening, like sprawling hills, and it was like this beautiful earth and this beautiful world. And the lion showed me the world and said that I am here to heal it, to help heal it. And that was my purpose, that I was going to help heal with my voice by sharing my story and my knowledge, and that I was going to help guide people to step into their power and to heal from their past and to live in love. And that was the message. And it was amazing. And then she started to walk us out of it, and we all started to wake up, and, we sit up and we all like look at each other, and it's just like, like you're slowly waking up, and it's like the vibration slowly coming down. And I felt that vibration for a while though afterwards. Like it took a lot out of all of us, and we all were crying, and we all turned around, and then we all shared our experience, and everyone had such beautiful experiences. Now, not everybody's was as like beautiful and positive as mine. Some of them were a little bit more like not as straightforward, more of like a what does this mean type thing. But everyone saw an animal, a different animal, that their spirit guide took the form of. Everyone had this huge emotional release. A lot of just like personal things that people were dealing with came up, and they got to deal with it. Afterwards, we all talked like later on about how we just felt like so much lighter, how insane it was that we all felt like we were going to levitate from the vibration, and how none of us knew that was going to happen. None of us expected that. It was just unreal. It was the most amazing experience that I am so, so, so thankful for. It was so life-changing. And then afterwards, I'm trying to find my notes here, which I don't know if I wrote it in a different book. I don't seem to see it. I thought it was right after my experience, because our shaman then came around and sat with each of us and immediately shared with us information that I guess came through to her while we did the breath work. And let me tell you, it took it out of her. She had to like go to sleep afterwards. She was so drained. And even when she showed up in the beginning before, she was like, I've been feeling you guys all day. There's some big energy here. This is going to be like really amazing. I hope you guys are all ready for it. So yeah, I'm not sure where I would have written this down, because I believe I only had this one book with me on the journey, but maybe I had a different one. So I remember most of it. So when she went around and talked to each girl, everybody's information, because we all talked about it afterwards, was very different. Now, everybody had very like vague, like, I see this for you. You need to go here. You need to go there. I remember my girlfriend talking to me being like, what? I don't even know what this means. But it's really interesting because this was October 2023 that we did this. It was right before I got pregnant, actually, with my daughter. And just the other day, my girlfriend was like, holy crap, this happened to me. Do you remember some of the information that I was told to? I don't want to like share all her info, but basically something happened to her that was what was told to her by the shaman, which was just crazy. So it had taken time. For me, a lot of it was very direct, like specific instructions. One was what I shared in my first video, that she told me that she saw me up on a stage talking to people in a very large space, using my voice to help heal. And she wasn't sure what I was going to be sharing. She told me to go to the ocean and put my feet in the water to get my downloads and to ground, and that it'll come to me, and not to worry, that it'll all come to me. There were some other things that she said, like, I see you with this. I see you with that. This ring, right before I went, I lost this ring. It literally at nighttime, I put all my jewelry in a specific dish. And I remember taking off my rings and my jewelry and I put them in the dish. And the next morning I went over to put them on. I was like, where's my Laramere ring? It was just gone. Just disappeared. It was like someone just took it out of the dish and left and took it. And she's like, there's this specific ring. It's missing right now. And I was like, oh my God, I did just miss them. This ring just disappeared. And she said, it's missing for a reason. There is some dirty energy tied to that ring. When it shows itself, you need to cleanse it. Months later, my husband comes walking out of our bedroom and goes, hey, I just found your ring sitting in the middle of our bedroom on the rug. I was like, what? I've had cleaning lady come multiple times. I have cleaned our room multiple times. It could not just be sitting in the middle of our room in the center of our rug. I would have seen it. I would have stepped on it. It would have been vacuumed up. Like, what are you talking about? It was as if someone placed it there and was like, okay, it's time for this to reappear. And I cleansed it. I cleansed the hell out of it. Salt water, the sun, the moon, smoke, sage. I was like, I got to make sure this thing is clean before I put it back on my finger. She told me about that there was a box next to my bed, maybe in a drawer, and that there was a message in it. And I have this little box of keepsakes and everything super special and meaningful to me, and it's in the drawer next to my bed. And I opened it to look through it, and there was something from my ex in there that did not belong in there. I needed to get rid of, which was great. She told me to get rid of everything he gave me to get him out of my life and to release him out. She also gave me some other specific instructions to do this Ashtanga breath work at home to erase him off my body and erase his karma off my body. After this experience and after purging all the things he gave me, I stopped having nightmares about him, which was amazing, right? She also told me some other really specific things about my children that were really amazing to hear. Just like some crazy stuff that was just so specific of things I needed to do. And the direction was just amazing. It was life-changing experience. I felt so much better afterwards. And there are things that I just like come back to. And I feel like it really helped set me down a path too. It kind of, starting this YouTube page and starting to share my story and do what I'm doing right now is something I've always wanted to do. And I feel like she gave me confirmation that I needed, which was really amazing and really helpful, because sometimes it's scary to start new things, right? And sometimes we just need that push and we need to be told it's going to be okay, but we still need to take that leap of faith, right? That's exactly what I'm doing. I felt like it was time. But again, just to come back to how amazing this experience was, and I just feel like afterwards, I talked to so many like close friends and family that I knew would be into this and told them like, this was life-changing. You need to do it. You need to do it. You're going to feel so much better afterwards. You're going to feel so much lighter afterwards. It's going to be life-changing. It's going to help clarify any doubts you have. It's going to answer so many questions you might have. It was one of the most amazing spiritual experiences I've ever had. And just to read you really quick, what I wrote down. It says, my shamanic journey was Saturday, and I'm still floating on a cloud from that experience. I cried my eyes out and was able to release feelings tied to my first marriage and my ex. She said he can no longer hurt you, and I cried so hard and deep. My body vibrated. My hands felt like energy was shooting out of them. My body shook and moved. My head turned side to side, my hips heavy, thrusting, releasing dirty energy out. I saw my grandmothers and all the greats behind them, my lineage of women who came before me. They all held my hands, and I felt it. Each one squeezed my hand to say, I'm here. I'm always here guiding you. You may not feel us like you can now, but we will always be here with you. I cried. I felt so much love. My body vibrated. I thought I was going to float off the ground. It was vibrating so hard. I could actually feel the energy, heavy and warm. It was like someone was hugging me. I met my spirit guide, a lion, and I also saw a thunderbird or eagle. I rode the lion who showed me the world and said, I'm here to help heal it. And that's what I'm going to do. Such an amazing experience. And it was one that I was able to achieve solely through my breath, which is just crazy, right? People think you can only achieve an experience like that through plant medicine. And you don't have to do the plant medicine if it's not calling you, if that doesn't feel right with you, if it's something that you're scared to do, you're someone that, it's going to be too intense, you don't know what to expect, this is a great first step. And maybe you don't ever get to that plant medicine step because it's just not what you need. It's not going to serve you because it doesn't feel right in here, right? You always know if something is going to be right by going to your gut and your intuition. So I strongly suggest, if you are someone dealing with trauma, stored emotions, if you're feeling stuck in life, you need something to wake you up, just to shake things up and help you figure out, what path you need to be going down, something new and fresh, or you really just need a deep release. You're feeling kind of stuck. You're feeling like you don't know what to do. This is for you. This is so for you. Contact me if you're really interested and you'd like to know the breathwork shaman that I used, located in Southern California. I'm sure you can find, if you're not in Southern California, practitioners, where you are. I think this is something super healing that is so beneficial and so amazing. And thank you for letting me share it with you. I hope this is received well. I hope you have a great day. And remember, whenever dealing with heavy emotions and trauma, there are tools we can utilize. Meditation, breath work, yoga, talking to our friends and family, getting that release that we need. I hope you have a blessed day. Love and light out to all of you. Enjoy your week.